All right, so the first step in spatchcocking a chicken is separating the backbone from the chicken. So that's what we're going to do now. You're going to want to make sure you got some meat shears that are in good condition. If they're bad, get yourself a new pair.
All right, so here's the bone. We want to cut it right along the edge on both sides. These bones can be a little tough, and getting through the skin's not always the easiest, especially if you don't have a sharp pair of shears. Oh look, we got a surprise. Still got the heart, the liver that we didn't pull out after we washed it. All right, so now we got it separated. Discard this stuff.
Okay, now that we got the backbone removed, we're going to flip this over. We're going to try and bring this back to life. We're going to do a little CPR. We want to break the rib bones. We want to flatten this out, get it as flat as possible, so when we throw it in the frying pan, it cooks evenly.
Jeez Louise.
All right, now that we got the bones broke and separated, now we're going to give this a little massage with some SPG, salt, pepper, and garlic.
But before we add the salt, pepper, garlic, we're going to add a little bit of olive oil, and it'll help bind that seasoning to the skin and the meat. Be careful as you're massaging this side. You don't want to catch your finger on these bones, poke you. A little sharp. All right, now we're going to bring our salt, pepper, garlic over. Give it a nice coat. And then we're going to let this set for a few hours. Make sure that you get inside the wings, inside the legs, all the crevices. You want this to have as much seasoning as it can because it's going to be good.
All right, now that that's got a nice coat, we're going to set this aside and get the rest of the ingredients ready.
So for those of you who do not know, a brick weighs roughly about 4.5 pounds. I do not have any bricks laying around. What I do have is a 10-pound weight plate. So we're going to take this, wrap it in tin foil so we don't contaminate our meat. Super easy. Let's get busy. I don't even know why I said let's get busy. And take 2 pieces of tin foil, flat side down, make it easy. Let's just wrap it up and roll it in. The only thing we really have to worry about is just getting that underside covered because that's what part's going to be touching the meat. There you have it, all done. All right, so now let's get that frying pan nice and hot. We're gonna add the oil and throw that chicken in there. All right, so we got the pan over medium-high heat. We wanna put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in there. Make sure the bottom is coated nicely. Cast iron pan, you wanna make sure you got an oven mitt. You don't wanna burn your hand. So the pan's now covered nicely. We're gonna take our chicken. We're gonna put it breast side down. Make sure that we get the meat all in there. Get the legs in there so it fits. Now we're going to add our weight plate. And you can hear it start sizzling even more. It's because more meat touching more of a hot pan. We're going to let this sear for 5 minutes. We're going to check the color. If the color is good, we're going to throw it into the oven, 500 degrees for 15 to 30 minutes depending. I have a meat probe all set up. That's going to let us know when that internal temperature hits 165. But I set it for 185 just because I want to make sure that this meat is going to be cooked all the way through. All right, so we're going to go ahead and check the color. It's been 5 minutes. Smells good. I love the smell of cooked meat. Oh yeah, that right there, that's perfect. I'm going to throw the weight back on, or if you're using bricks, that's fine too. Throw that on there. Make sure you don't burn your hands. Oh, before we do that, all right, I'm going to take my meat probe, stick it in as far as I can. We got it inside the breast. We want it up at the higher part because we want to make sure that the temperature up at the top is at 165. Throw that back on there. All right, now that we got the probe in, into the oven it goes. We're going to leave that weight on there to help make sure that that stays nice and flat. All right, so we got the oven temp set at 500. We're going to cook it, like I said, anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes, depending on how quick the chicken cooks. The nice thing about this oven is it comes with a meat probe. Here, we can switch back and forth between the temperatures. Right now, that's what the internal temperature of the meat is. Here's the oven. I have it preset to 185 because I want to make sure it cooks all the way through. All right, so the chicken's done. You can hear the sizzle. It smells delicious. I'm going to pull this out. And you can hear the oil. We're going to go ahead and take this weight plate off. We don't need it no more. We're going to go ahead and set it aside. All right, so now the chicken's done. We're going to let it rest. We're going to go ahead and just let it set. Nice and crispy. There's our meat probe. Go ahead and pull this out. All right, over medium-high heat, we're going to add 2 more tablespoons of oil. Actually, there's still a lot of oil in there. So only add about a tablespoon. Set that aside. We're going to add about a half a cup of onion. So now we got a half a cup of onion added to the oil. We're going to go ahead and scrape the bottom to get the little burnt pieces of flavor off of it. We're going to get these onions caramelizing. Then we're going to add, next we're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter, a half of a large squeezed lemon. Stir that in, let it melt down. That sauce is looking delicious already. Woo! We're going to do 2 large dollops, probably 3 tablespoons or 4 or 5 cloves of garlic. And then when it comes to onions and garlic, you can add as much as you want. All depends on the flavor that you like. Now we're going to add in our jalapenos. We want to cook that spice into it. And we're going to save the bell peppers and some of the jalapenos for flavor and some garnishment. Grab your favorite hot sauce. We're going to put 2 tablespoons of that favorite hot sauce into the mix. And mix that in, let it cook. Let those jalapenos soften up just a little bit. Now we're going to add our cooking white wine. And we added about a cup and a half of cooking white wine to it. Give that a stir. We're going to let all those flavors marinate, and we're going to go prep our chicken and get it ready. All right, now that our chicken's cooled down a little bit, we're going to go ahead and we're going to chop it up into pieces. We're going to get ready to plate it. All right, we're going to let this cool off before we dig in and try it. All right, it's time to dig in. It smells delicious. I did smoke out the house for a minute because it did start to get a little crazy in here, but that's okay. It turned out nice and crispy. Let's give it a shot. It's nice and tender and juicy. It's got just a little bit of zip from that hot sauce. The jalapenos definitely help. You definitely get a lot of flavor from the garlic and the onions. We paired it with a cabbage salad with some carrots. I love this. This is delicious. Healthy, nutritious, keto and diabetic friendly. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Give it a shot. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. But I think this turned out better than the first time. The first time was an epic fail. This time, the family's over there devouring it. They haven't even taken a breath yet. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next video.